Shalom royalty, it's Ellie here, and today's verse of the day is Luke 6:38. Okay, give me your cup. Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye mete withal, it shall be measured to you again. Meat is spelled M-E-T-E. I don't know if it's meat or meat, but pretty much you reap what you sow. Give and it shall be given back to you. And that's the beautiful thing also. So when it comes to that scripture, it's really interesting. I was talking about tithes with my sister yesterday. She didn't really understand the concept. And so I explained, I'm like, of course, God doesn't need our dollar bills. He doesn't need the paper that is printed off the press for our fiat currency. No. Sorry. Our tithes go to the church, and the church is to help the community. And that is if you're giving tithes to the church, and I'll get back to that in a minute, and then I'll relate it back to the scripture. When you're giving your tithes to the church, you're ensuring that the church stays in operation so that the church can help the community. The church is supposed to be involved in community activities, charity events, health fairs, and different things like that, where people can get the help they need, whether it's like clothes, or they're giving to homeless shelters, or they're giving to orphanages, whatever the situation is. That's the point of the church building. Of course, people go to worship and praise and stuff like that. But the church is supposed to be a pillar of assistance in the community. People can go there to get things that they need. And so when you're paying your tithes consistently, that is ensuring that the church stays in operation. The tithe is basically the church's paycheck, if we can put it in those types of terms to simplify it. And so that is what happens with tithes when you give to a church. So let's just say you don't tithe to a church. Let's just say that your tithe is $100, right? And your ministry that God told you to do is to give to the homeless. Well, I'm not saying give a homeless person $100, but you can give a series of homeless people $10. That way that can help them, or give them $10 worth of something. You spend your $100 on food or toiletries or whatever, and you're giving homeless people those resources. That could be your tithe. It depends on what God has for you and what you decide to do. And so that is the concept of tithing. That's how I explained it to my sister. And so when we go back to this scripture, it says, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. So, I'm a, what's it called? Example of this. I give a lot. Yes, tithe, but like I give to people in general, and people give to me all the time. I just get gifts all the time. And, what's her name? Anointed Fire. What's her name? Well, her YouTube channel is Anointed Fire. I forgot what her name was. Man, I want to remember it. But anyway, she was talking about how some people were hurt out of their gifts of giving because they gave to the wrong. You can't really. Okay, I'll explain giving to the wrong people in a minute, though. But basically, they gave to the wrong people, or they got hurt while they were giving and all that stuff. Did we put our trash out? Okay. And they stopped giving. And they wondered why, their lives turned out a particular way. And it's like, your gift was giving. You have to continue to give so you can not just get things back, but so your life can be fulfilled. And part of your life is getting things. And so when you give, when we use terms like karma, or you reap what you sow, when you give, you get it back 10 times more, or whatever multiplication your particular situation is. And that gift can be from men. It may not be the specific person. Like, don't expect you give $1 to somebody and they give you $10 back. That's not exactly how it works all the time. Sometimes you give somebody $1 and somebody else will give you $100. You never know. You don't know how you're going to get whatever you're going to get back. And that's not even the mindset you're supposed to have. The Bible also says be a cheerful giver. So if you're giving begrudgingly, or if you're like, well, if I give you this and I'll get this, then you're not gonna, the principle doesn't work. So you have to be of pure heart and be a cheerful giver. And sorry, for the principle to manifest properly. And so the second part is, for with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Now, like I said, I don't know what meet means. But pretty much what I understand from that second part is that, you'll get it back to you. What goes around comes around. All these sayings that people say is like, they're all true, they're all biblical, but I don't think people look at the bright side of things. They're like, oh, what goes around comes around, or karma's a B word. And it's like, karma's only a B word if you're one first. I got good karma. That's one thing I could say. Like, I give and put out good energy, so I get a lot of good energy back. Like, I had a situation happen this morning. Like, it just happened. I just got off the phone with the individuals. There's somebody who didn't do me right in life, and we have to stay in communication for particular things. And the situation for me, I'm chilling. I'm good whether certain things go a certain way or not. But that particular person, they're going through a struggle, and they may lose a connection as well. They may lose a relationship that they've had for years. And I just looked at the situation. I'm like, wow, this person is really being influenced by somebody who isn't biblical, who isn't, following the truth. And they're just going to run their lives into the ground, and this constant circle of drama with that individual. I noticed that, like, once I removed myself from that individual, or that individual got taken out of my life, I had way less drama. But that person just happens to have drama around them all the time. And they have somebody around them influencing them who also has drama constantly. And it's like, woo. Yeah, see, I don't know what's going to happen with that individual. Of course, I pray for them, and they're better good, but you there's only so much you can pray for somebody on their behalf, especially when they didn't ask you to pray for them. So I can only take my prayers to a certain extent with that individual, because it's like, it's interesting when you get into the concept of prayer for other people. As intercessors, we also have to be careful, because it's like, God will show us certain things. That's one hand of it. And God will do things on our behalf because of our prayers. But if that person isn't ready for it, then it could be a waste, to be very honest. So that's kind of beside the point. But here's what I mean also. Say you're praying for somebody for their good intent. The fact that you are putting out good energy on their behalf, that is also something you can receive back. So you can get a call from somebody, and they'll be like, hey, I've been praying for you. Did this particular thing happen in your life? It could be like, yeah, it did happen. Thank you for your prayers. Like, that's just how it works. That's literally how it works. And so I'll read the scripture for you guys one more time. It's Luke 6:38. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Royalty, shalom, and bye-bye.